So I remember being about 14 years old looking through my brother's motorbike magazines and thinking to myself, I can't wait to turn 17 and get my first motorbike. The dream for myself was to go out and buy an Aprilia RS 1252 two-stroke, because at the time they were the absolute pinnacle motorcycle for a 17-year-old. Unfortunately, this was a dream and an aspiration that soon got put on the back burner because, well, seeing the consequences of a motorbike accident firsthand will do that to you. My brother's injuries and the rehabilitation, and having two parents that rightfully steered me away from bikes and into cars, my motorbike soon became something I only admired from a distance. The thought of owning one never really crossed my mind again until I was sometime in my late 30s. I remember I was working on a job somewhere in Huddersfield on the Yorkshire Moors when I saw this Yamaha MT-07 come flying down this road. It was grey with fluorescent yellow wheels on it and it looked incredible. It sounded fantastic and the dude riding it looked like he was having an absolute whale of a time. All of a sudden that itch and that desire to have a bike was back. Of course, there's the other bits that happened that were still very present in my mind. The apprehension, the memory of seeing my brother in hospital, seeing his injuries and seeing his scars, seeing his road to recovery. That's what had kept me away from bikes for so long, and that sort of thing doesn't really go away. But, you know, life, it starts to settle, doesn't it? Mortgages, work, kids. There's a routine that you fall into, and that's where the itch really starts to burn. That one thing that says to you constantly that you need to do something new, do something for yourself. And then there's a whole, leap of faith that's involved in that, especially when you're not in your 20s anymore. No matter how old you get, your mum's still going to fret. There's that new family to think about, and it does take a bit of backbone to say to yourself, right, I'm going to change this, I'm going to do something for myself. Then you've actually got to go out and learn, haven't you? The CBT, the theory tests, the days of training, and then the exams at the end of it. It's not exactly a walk in the park, but with every mile and every successful manoeuvre, that fear starts to fade away. It's replaced by a sense of achievement. And that is where the magic of riding really starts to happen for me. It strips you right back to the basics. Clutch, throttle, looking where you need to go, all that stuff that seasoned riders do without thinking, you're having to learn from scratch. Each stage of it chips away at your doubt. You realise that you're capable of more than you ever thought you were, and eventually, somehow, the dream and the fear and the guilt and all that hard work you put in eventually does pay off. And riding is the reward. The feeling of finding a hobby and an interest that you feel comfortable in sharing with other people. Something that gives you a sense of freedom. Buying your first big bike is something you're never going to forget. The first time I heard the Ducati Monster fire up, I remember the dealership sending me a video of it. Something inside me was just like, hell yes, this is the bike for me. I know that it wasn't the sensible choice. It definitely wasn't the cheapest choice, but I know it was the right choice because, well, there's a quote that my late father-in-law once told me. You don't buy a motorbike with your head, Jack. You buy it with your heart. When you open those garage doors, that bike needs to make you smile like a big kid. And my bike certainly ticks all of those boxes. And that, really, is how all of this started. Not with confidence, not with natural talent, not with some lifelong ambition of becoming the next big YouTuber. I'm just a bloke who fell in love with riding a bit later on in life and decided to document the whole thing. Jack Talks Bikes is for anyone who's learning, anyone who's curious, anyone who's rusty returning to bikes, nervous, or just loves bikes. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to share what I learn when I learn it. Be that bike reviews, tips, vlogs, mistakes, the odd bit of wisdom. It's all part of the ride. And you're all invited to come along for every single mile. So where does it go from here then? Honestly, I've got no idea. That's half the fun of it. Maybe I get better and maybe I do some additional rider training. Maybe I buy something I absolutely shouldn't and I restore it. What I do know is riding has changed my outlook on life and who I am, and I know it'll do the same for you. It's given me something that I own and something that I really enjoy. So whether you're new to riding or whether you've been riding for a decade, hopefully this is the right place for you. I'm Jack, this is Jack Talks Bikes, and hopefully I get to see you guys in more videos in the future. I'll do that. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Stop. Stop.